tells us about a mythical duelist. So what's the point of all of this? It's 101. In this episode, we are diving into one single story, the Dueling Tree questline. It looks simple, but as we'll find out, it's actually one of the most important lessons the game tries to teach. Or as I call it, 6 dueling trees, or I swear these can't be buried! The game is wrong! The quest starts when we arrive at the first tree. At first there is no one around, just one storyteller. Waiting like a librarian who's seen too much, he tells us about a mythical duelist, a man who fought countless battles, won every single one, and then vanished into legend. The names of his defeated opponents carved right onto the tree. Very subtle. The new duelists now try to summon him by fighting everyone who passes by. They believe that once they've proven themselves, the legend will appear. Great plan, if I fight everyone, the myth will notice me, or just come by. After this talk, 7 dueling trees appear on the map, each one, as I thought, tougher than the last. On the map you can see all the key points, 7 trees scattered across the land, each one tied into a duel. So what's the point of all of this? Not glory, not loot, not even bragging rights. The quest's real motive is one thing: learning the perfect parry. The game doesn't force you to do it every time, but it keeps nudging you, whispering, come on, hit it right, this time. Each duel is the same exam. Can you time it? It's not about reflexes, it's about a rhythm. The dueling tree is like the one teacher who never yells, never prizes you, just stares in silence until you get it right. Or rage quit. 6 lessons, same topic, each one a little more cruelly precise than the last one. Repetition is revelation, as they say in martial arts. Or maybe I just made it up. It is made by design for you not to rush this quest, which I most certainly do the opposite in this episode. By design, you'll travel, do other missions, come back later, and that's what makes it work. Each iteration is designed to work best for the player's memory, teaching you to remember the timing of the parry. For players like me, who start on Monday, continue on Wednesday and finish next week, it's perfect. And for the casual player, the one who actually has life outside the digital world, this scattered training is genius. It retrains you again and again, almost obsessively. Some games you come back after 6 months and forget which button even draws the sword. Here, the game gently reminds you, and then kills you to reinforce the lesson. The first few duels are warm-ups, a polite handshake before the slaughter. Each opponent adds something new: a faster strike, a delayed swing, a fake out that makes you parry air like a confused pigeon. Some fights will frustrate you, others feel like butter, smooth and over too fast. But all of them build the same muscle, timing of the parry. People say this quest repeats itself too much. They say that this game teaches you the same thing over and over again. Not only in this quest, but throughout the whole game. I'd argue that's the point. The repetition is the lesson.
So eager to die.
It's like the musical scales for swordsman, boring until it suddenly becomes art.
Another disciple.
Around the third or fourth duel, I started wondering, maybe I need a better armor, maybe a stronger weapon.
If I have to.
No, the game doesn't care about your equipment, it cares about you. There is no secret technique, no hidden stance. You're not upgrading gear, you're upgrading reflexes. And somehow that makes it kind of beautiful. The game's saying it's not the sword, it's the hands that hold it. The beauty of this quest line comes at cost. If the earlier duels were teaching moments, this one is pure punishment. It's easily the hardest battle so far, and as you can see, I tried using the same tactics that worked on previous ordinary opponents throughout the game. But that strategy, hitting through their defenses, attacking again and again, hoping to break their guard, just doesn't work here. Whatever you do, this boss blocks everything. And soon you realize your entire rhythm falls apart. The only real option he leaves you are two. First, use the power Mitsubishi. It's a limited item, only a few uses, so every throw counts. Second, wait for that microscopic window for a perfect parry and strike right after. That's it! No button mashing, no trick combos, just patience and precision sharp enough to split atoms. But as you can see, this fight feels much harder, mostly because of the two axes he wields. They're noticeably faster than the dual katanas. Or maybe I'm just imagining things, but honestly it feels like they swing twice as fast, which means there is barely any time to react, and pulling off a perfect parry here? Yeah, that almost feels like a myth. Sometimes it seems like the game is just trolling you, flashing that parry window for half a frame, and then saying, nope, too late.
Another disciple.
The fourth boss? Though that one's a mix of a comedy and cruelty. The fight feels like it lasts forever, but now you already died so many times on the third boss that you've internalized the timing. So even though it looks harder, it actually less painful, because at last you know that a perfect parry is real. Before that, casual players like I am probably thought, is that ever working? Or game's tips are not applicable on the boss. The timing window is ridiculously tight, and missing it feels like being slapped by the game itself. So the lesson is simple: make fewer mistakes than usual. Every misstep here costs, but can be fixed by points of energy. As you can see, he also wields two axes, but this fight feels different. By now, you already know how to deal with them. You've got a better grasp of the timing, but every mistake still costs you energy, and mismanagement of the energy might cost you a fight. Each error drains your chances to recover, so you have to stay precise and better avoid them completely. Then comes the fifth boss. On paper, he looks terrifying. Tall warrior, long spear, fifth and the final boss. But once the duel begins, you notice something. His attacks are slower. That means more time to react, more time to feel the rhythm of the parry. And yes, the powder still works on him. In my opinion, This boss exists to cement everything you've learned so far. It's not meant to crush you. It's meant to make you realize that you've already mastered the trick. This fight isn't about survival anymore. It's about confidence. It's the game quietly patting you on the back and saying, "You've got it. Now prove it. Come on."
Takezo's trees are drenched in his disciples' blood. Were they even a challenge?
It's their master I want.
Then you're in luck. He's ready for you.
Are you another disciple?
Just a vagabond, not unlike yourself. Follow the river south toward the sea. Takezo will meet you beneath the Dueling Tree.
After the fifth duel, which weirdly felt easier than the third, we return to the first tree. You finally reveals the truth. The so-called vanished one isn't a myth. He's real.
If I do,
He's been
will you teach me
watching
your
us through his disciples. And now it's time to face the boss. The boss among the boss.
I leave messages for all of them.
The last duel takes place by the shore, under the same first tree.
You shed no tears for your disciples.
Poetic symmetry, or maybe lazy level design. There is a funny moment when Takezo asks your name. For a second you think he's being polite, and then you realize that's so he can carve your name on the paper on the tree after killing you. Amusing. While writing this, I learned that Takezo is actually based on Miyamoto Musashi, a real swordsman who won 62 duels. So yeah, our chances? Statistically abysmal, of course from historical point of view. So as you can see, this fight is far less forgiving than anything we've faced before.
Show me something.
It combines every type of attack in the game. You have to parry when you can, dodge when you must, and recognize the difference in a split second. The red glint on the enemy's blade means don't even try to parry. Those strikes are unblockable. And then there are yellow attacks. The white sweeps you must dodge. You'll drop your weapon entirely, which by the way is almost always a death sentence, since you must fetch them back and the weapons are always somewhere behind you in a blind spot. In this fight, I managed to come up with a new tactic. During the duel, I started using fire arrows to apply damage over time. It's risky, but sometimes the enemy just can't avoid the burning effect. That little slow burn really helps. Once we finish the first phase, the fight changes completely. He stops, looks at us, and basically says, "You're good enough to fight me. But let's see how you handle this." Then he throws away his weapon, grabs a simple stick, and keeps fighting. Yeah, he literally downgrades his gear just to prove a point. And that's when you realize what this duel is really about. You might think this phase would be easy, but it's not. I lost a ton of HP simply because I didn't take that stick seriously. I made a lot of mistakes, but eventually I pulled through somehow, on the first try. At the end, he doesn't die. He doesn't even fall. He just steps back, nods, and says, "You've mastered the trick." And that's where the Dueling Tree questline finally ends. You unlock a new ability, the Dual Katana Spirit Attack. But more importantly, you gain something that the game can't explicably teach. Real timing. The funny thing, in the midst of a fight, he somehow forgot the whole thing. "I will beat you with a stick," and grabbed the katana, which is a cheating. And where is his so-called creativity? You might expect an epic reward, a new weapon, a glowing sword, or maybe spiritual enlightening moment. No, the only reward here is mastery. You don't just press the parry button anymore. You start to feel it, or he will make you do that. The duel is brutal. If earlier bosses needed 2 or 3 perfect parries, now you'll need double that, and with the precision of a Swiss watch. It's just you, your sword and timing so tight it could slice atoms. The fight juggles 4 types of attacks: normal, parable, unparable, and disarm. Basically a rhythm game in disguise. When you finally win, you don't kill him. You just wound him enough to earn a nod. He's something like, "You're ready, you know the trick." And that's it. Your reward? The dual katana spirit attack. Sounds cool, but what you really gain is understanding. You finally feel how a perfect parry works, and now it's messy. It fails 90 times before it lands once, but that one perfect parry, it's a pure dopamine wrapped in steel. That's when you realize that quest, it was about witnessing improvement, and that's not the end. There is a second duel with this boss, one that truly tests what you've learned. We'll cover that in the next episode. For now, remember, the real secret to winning every duel is perfect parry. Not when the blade starts glowing blue, but at exact frame when it moves towards you. That's the heartbeat of Ghost of Yotei. Once you feel it, you'll never forget it. Thanks for watching. This was E101. Stay sharp and see you in the next one.